So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 71 discussion of Kaiju 8号 or Kaiju number 8. So Chapter 71 came out about 10 days ago, and as always, I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, I will go take a look at this chapter before they pull it back. Okay, so with regards to this chapter, I will have to say that this chapter really emphasizes the phrase, the rule of cool. There was so much really what you might call cool events that happened in this chapter, and from it you realize, Matsumoto Naoya is a really decent artist, and he is very good at bringing this sort of chapter out. Now, right from the very beginning, in the chapter cover, you already see a pretty darn cool image of Commander Narumi. And it sets off this chapter well because it continues on to bring out some very interesting situations that help kind of bring up the emotion of the reader. Now, chapter 71 continues on from what we saw in chapter 70. If you recall, that gentleman Toku, who used to be Kafka's boss when he was in the monster cleanup crew, was being attacked by one of the kaijus. And it was within chapter 70 that we find out that he was being rescued by Commander Narumi's team. And this continues on in 71, and we see that Narumi's team is now helping all of the people that were in Toku's daughter's wedding to evacuate safely from that area. And of course that leaves Commander Narumi all alone to fight the monsters. And this of course terrifies Toku, and he starts pleading with the division to go assist their leader. But of course nobody knows Commander Narumi better than the members of the division, and they reassure Toku, as much as there are some really frightening monsters surrounding him, it is their lives that are in more peril than the commander's. And during that time, we see once again a very cool artwork showing just how powerful Commander Narumi is as he takes out immediately all of the monsters that were surrounding him. And so this continues on this very pumped up sort of feeling that you get with this chapter. And of course, they continue on with the discussion that it is not only in the area where Division 1 is fighting, but it is all across Japan that these monsters are appearing. And so as strong as the JDF are, they're kind of stretched thin because they have to cover so many of these incidents. And during this time, there's some very interesting things that we find out. One is that I think Vice Commander Hoshina has a relative in the JDF. I don't know if it's a cousin, if it's a younger brother. I'm not exactly sure. But this guy, I think this guy is blood related to Vice Commander Hoshina. And the other thing we find out, probably more important, is that it's not a random attack that these kaijus are doing. These kaijus are targeting very specific and important points in Japan. And so these are very strategic targets that these kaijus are attacking. And this, of course, seems to imply that all of this attack is being coordinated by Monster Number 9 or Kaiju Number 9. And when Vice Commander Hasegawa tells Commander Narumi that one of the kaijus in the Tokyo area is actually attacking the Senate, and asks what they should do considering there are so many kaijus attacking, Narumi calmly responds back, "The only thing we can do is to fight back with everything we have." And with that, he gives out the command to deploy the weapon. And that brings us to the end of this chapter, which ends in another rule of cool when we see what Commander Narumi is talking about, when we pan back to the headquarters of the JDF, and we see an electromagnetic launch system being prepped, and we find out that the payload that will be launched is Kikoru Shinomiya. And the final scene that we see is her comment saying that she is moving out. So this was a very cool chapter. And you kind of expect that because this is the first chapter that you see after the training arc. You expect that it should be very inspirational. It should make you feel pumped because we are now seeing the results of their training. We saw that in comics like Naruto, we saw that in One Piece, and we of course saw that in Dragon Ball. And so you expect to see that here. But what you do see is that how cool a chapter can be and how good the story comes out depends upon the skill of the writer. As common as the post-training story may be, how well it's written will determine how you feel about it. And I think Matsumoto Naoya did a really good job when he presented this chapter. So I am really looking forward to seeing what exactly Kikoru Shinomiya will bring out and what exactly Hikari Shinomiya, Kikoru's mother, had as a power when she was alive. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in chapter 72. And when that comes out, I'll bring out another video. I hope you join me at that time. But this is the chapter 71 discussion for Kaiju 8号. If you read it, what you think about it? Are you looking forward to chapter 72? Any comment that you can leave will be greatly appreciated. And until the next chapter, happy manga reading. And as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.